He said, man, that sure is some good-looking stagecoach. That's what they call a bus, a motorhome.
For 60 years, Ernest Borgnine kept a secret so explosive that it could have shattered Hollywood. A bitter feud, violent clashes, and a coffee-throwing incident that left someone with second-degree burns. This wasn't just on-set drama. It was deeply personal. And today, the truth finally comes out. Borgnine's journey to Hollywood was anything but conventional. Born Ermes Effron Borgnino in 1917, his life took unexpected turns from the very start. His parents' separation at age 2 sent him to Italy, where he was immersed in an entirely different culture. 5 years later, his family reconciled and returned to America. But even their name was reshaped. Borgnino became Borgnine, an attempt to sound more American. He was no child actor, no Hollywood dreamer. In fact, acting wasn't even on his radar. Instead, young Borgnine thrived in sports, never once stepping foot into a drama class. But fate had other plans. Fresh out of high school, Borgnine enlisted in the Navy in 1935. For 6 years, he served aboard the USS Lamberton, and just as he was ready to move on, history intervened. The attack on Pearl Harbor changed everything. Watching his country go to war, he knew he couldn't just stand by. Without hesitation, he re-enlisted in 1942, this time aboard the USS Sill, defending the Atlantic coast. War changed him. It toughened him, instilled discipline, and forged a camaraderie that would later define his acting career. By the time he left the Navy in 1945, he had earned multiple military honors and was seriously considering making it his lifelong career. But then, his mother said something that altered his destiny forever. "You have a forceful personality. Why not try acting?" That single suggestion set him on an entirely new path. No experience, no connections, no idea where to start. None of that mattered. He dove in headfirst, enrolling in drama school and joining the barter theater where actors were literally paid in vegetables. But Borgnine wasn't in it for the money. He was in it to learn, performing night after night, painting sets, fixing costumes, even scrubbing toilets. Then came his breakthrough, a role in Tennessee Williams's The Glass Menagerie. Though he doubted his own performance, the audience saw something special. Hollywood was about to take notice. By 1949, he had made it to Broadway, sharing the stage with James Stewart in Harvey. But Hollywood wasn't sure what to do with him. He looked too mean for comedy, too funny for drama. Then everything changed with From Here to Eternity. As Sergeant Fatso Judson, he delivered a performance so chilling that even Frank Sinatra, who initially doubted Borgnine, refused to speak to him off-camera for weeks. The role was so intense that it gave Borgnine nightmares, but it also made him a star. 2 years later, Hollywood was in for another shock. Borgnine went from playing a sadistic villain to the most unlikely romantic lead in Marty. The low-budget film, made for just $343,000, became a sensation, winning Best Picture and earning Borgnine an Oscar for Best Actor. At 38, he beat out legends like James Dean and Spencer Tracy, and yet he almost didn't get the role. The studio wanted Rod Steiger, but one chance encounter at a Hollywood party changed everything. His natural charm won over the producers, and when he stepped in front of the camera, he became Marty. But Borgnine refused to be boxed in. In The Dirty Dozen, he performed his own stunts, at age 50, impressing even the toughest guys on set. In The Wild Bunch, he played one of the most violent roles of his career, a ruthless gunslinger whose manic laughter in the heat of battle haunted audiences for years. He wasn't just acting. He was redefining what a Hollywood tough guy could be. Then came television. McHale's Navy turned him into a household name, but the show wasn't all laughs. A pyrotechnic accident left him with severe burns, forcing production to halt for weeks. Even so, his dedication never wavered. The role earned him an Emmy nomination, and in an unbelievable twist, it even influenced real-life military strategy. A classified memo revealed that the U.S. Navy consulted with the show's writers, believing that McHale's creative problem-solving could be useful in real operations. That's right, a sitcom actually helped shape military tactics. Even as he aged, Borgnine never slowed down. In Airwolf, he insisted on doing his own stunts at 67, a decision that nearly cost him his life when a helicopter crashed just feet away from him. But his biggest surprise came when he voiced Mermaid Man in SpongeBob SquarePants. It all started because his grandson was a fan of the show. A casual conversation at a charity event led to an impromptu audition on a napkin, and just like that, a new generation fell in love with him. Ernest Borgnine's career was marked by triumphs, but his personal life? A whirlwind of passion, heartbreak, and scandal. 5 marriages, each with its own chaos. His first love, Rhoda Kem, stood by him before fame. But Hollywood's bright lights cast long shadows, and by 1958, their marriage was history. Then came Katie Jurado, the fiery Mexican actress whose passion matched his own. Their love burned hot, but flamed out just as fast. By 1963, another marriage lay in ruins. And then, the shortest of them all, Ethel Merman. What started as a glamorous Hollywood fairy tale turned into a nightmare in just over a month. The tension was unbearable, and Merman made her feelings known in the most brutal way by dedicating an entire chapter to their marriage in her autobiography and leaving it completely blank. Borgnine later admitted that blank page said more than words ever could, but love found him at last. Tova, his final wife, stood beside him for nearly 4 decades, proving that sometimes, after all the storms, calm does come. But Borgnine wasn't the only one entangled in high-stakes drama. Shelley Winters, a force of nature both on and off screen, clashed with him on the set of The Poseidon Adventure. She demanded control, rewrote lines, and pushed everyone, including Borgnine, to their limits. But when it came time for a brutal underwater scene, Winters insisted on doing her own stunts. The crew was skeptical, but she was determined to prove herself. The result? A grueling 14-hour shoot, repeated 65 times. The exhaustion was real, but so was the magic. Her performance earned an Oscar nomination. And despite the tension, Borgnine later admitted she was difficult, unpredictable, but she was always right. And then there was Spencer Tracy, a legend, a powerhouse, and an actor who struck fear into his co-stars. Borgnine, still climbing his way up in Hollywood, found himself toe-to-toe with Tracy in Bad Day at Black Rock. Tracy's unpredictable style left Borgnine scrambling to keep up. One take, another, 7 mistakes in a row. The weight of Tracy's presence was suffocating. And then, the fight scene. Borgnine, a man known for his physical dominance, found himself flipped onto a table with just one arm. No stunt doubles, no second chances. That moment changed everything. Tracy, once distant, finally nodded in respect. Soon after, he recommended Borgnine for Marty, the role that won him an Oscar. One brutal fight had rewritten his entire career. But Borgnine wasn't just battling fellow actors. Sometimes, he was stuck in the middle of full-blown Hollywood warfare. Enter Johnny Guitar. The set was already explosive, but nothing compared to the venom between Joan Crawford and Mercedes McCambridge. These weren't just actresses, they were sworn enemies. Crawford, discovering McCambridge had a past with her ex, turned the set into a battlefield. She threw McCambridge's costumes into the Arizona desert, forced scenes to be shot separately, and in a moment of pure rage, hurled hot coffee at an assistant, leaving him with burns. Borgnine, trying to survive the chaos, recalled the sheer madness. Working with Joan was like walking on eggshells while juggling dynamite. But even amid the Hollywood feuds and personal scandals, Borgnine remained a force to be reckoned with. His resilience, his passion, and his raw talent kept him in the game. His journey, filled with love, loss, career-defining battles, and moments of redemption, was the stuff of legends. In his final days, holding Tova's hand, he reflected on the life he had lived, the loves he had lost, and the battles he had fought. "It's not about the size of the screen," he once said. "It's about the size of the audience's heart." And in the end, his legacy was nothing short of unforgettable.